Ladies and gentlemen, we are here to continue on to our Stormblood quests. We are starting off with Homeward Bound. And yeah, so we've been kind of looking for recruits for the rebellion or resistance with Lyse and Meffrid. Meffrid? Yeah. But we've been looking for recruits. So far, no real luck. So, yeah. We're just looking for people to fill the ranks. So, yeah. Let's see if we can find anybody. Alright. Yeah. Okay. Meffrid says, we're Kratos alive and the tribunum's been paid. That's all that matters for now. I, for one, would rather not wait around to see if the skulls decide to return. We'd best get back to Qiqirn and tell Reganfrid his man got the job done. So yeah, they the where Krata guy, he went to deliver the tribute and he got beaten up in the process, but he did get it delivered right over here actually, in fact. And there was like a bunch of men and then a woman who appeared to be in charge of them. So yeah. But in the end, he did walk away, so yay. Severely beaten, but on his feet. So. Still didn't go this way. I'm gonna fly. I'm gonna fly. So slow. Alright, so we need to go right over here. And this guy is like the village elder, so. Reganfrid says, we owe you a debt of gratitude for what you did. Where Krata told me everything. How you fought with the Qiqirn and saved his life. Lyse says, for all the good it did. We saw what happened when he met with the skulls. How they beat him half to death. We could have stopped them. Ooh, excuse me. Reganfrid says, I reckon you could. Meffrid's a warrior, as is your comrade, and you're strong, like your father. That much is plain. But I think, Rigor, you did not, because it would not have ended with them. Where Krata and his sister would have been branded insurgents, if not the whole lot of us. Bones heal, scars fade, but the dead remain dead. We're alive, and that's more than can be said it's more than can be said for only the gods know how many others. Lyse says, that's enough for you, is it? To put up with whatever they do to you, so long as you get to see another day? Sorry, I got this itch in the back of my throat. Okay. Weird. Okay. Reganfrid says, that's right. You grit your teeth and you learn to live with the pain. I'll admit, I was quick to judge you, Lyse, and for that I apologize. I know you and yours mean well, I do, but I'm telling you, God's in the heavens as my witness, that we've got nothing left to give. We can't help you. So no recruits. Lyse says, I understand. Thank you for your honesty. Rainford says, she may say it, but she doesn't mean it. Nor would I expect her to. Her father was stubborn as an ox, too. If she's set on walking the same path, I but pray she won't follow to the same end. Meffrid says, well, she took it better than I anticipated, which isn't saying much, I suppose. We should go and see if she's all right. Lyse. Lyse says, sorry about running off like that. Alamegans terrorizing their own. I just can't accept it, you know? No matter what he thinks, they shouldn't have put up with it. Day after day after day. I'm not completely nav, you know. I didn't expect them to storm a castrum with their pickaxes and shovels, or whatever it was. But nor did I expect Qiqirn to just lie there in the dirt while they kicked him. I can't claim to know their pain. I barely remember this place. Or even my father's face. I remember Yeda's. I remember how scared she was when we ran, and that look in her eyes when she talked about home. Her home, not mine, is it? Cynical youth comes up behind us and says, there you are, Lyse. I've been looking all over for you. Lyse says, well, you found me. Got something else to say? Cynical youth says, that I do. I said some things to you before that I shouldn't have. It wasn't my place to do so, and I'm sorry. All that rubbish I spouted about how I love my village, but when one of ours was in need, I was cowering here with all the others. I didn't even think to go after Qiqirn, but you did. Made me feel like the bloody hypocrite I am. If I truly cared for my people, I'd fight for them. So I will, if you'll have me. A recruit, yay! Lyse says, you're asking to join the resistance? Cynical youth says, when you put it like that, I suppose I am, but not just me. There are others I know who've been thinking about it for a while now. There's not many of us, and we're not hardened warriors like you lot, but... Meffrid says, if your heart bleeds for Alamigo, then that's good enough for me. You and yours are more than welcome at Rigger's Reach. Yay, we got some recruits. Not just one, but a few. Cynical You says, "Thank you, sir. You won't regret this. I'll go and speak with the others and send word when we're ready." Meffrid says, "Still think this isn't your home?" Lyse says, No, I was just thinking out loud." Meffrid says, "And with that, my friends, our mission is concluded. Let us return to the Reach." Okay, we need to go. Where do we need to go? We need to go there. Keep forgetting you can mount up in here because it's like a capital for the expansion kind of, but you can mount. So I'm like, Okay. Alright, in a cutscene, Meffrid says, "First of all, allow me to commend you both on a job well done. Though nothing went according to plan, we nevertheless managed to attract some new recruits. And it was your passion and conviction that moved them to join. Thank you." Lyse says, "No, thank you for giving me an opportunity to find out what our people have been through these past 20 years. It's been humbling. And troubling, too. I had heard about the skulls, but that was the first time I had seen them in the flesh. I know you say they're the same as the other Imperial soldiers, and maybe that's how I'll have to think of them myself if our paths ever cross on the battlefield, but..." Meffrid, ha, Miri, Meffrid, yeah, I can't say it now. Meffrid says, "When, not if. That day will come, Lyse. You can't afford to hesitate when it does. Young, old, conscript, citizen, Garlean, Alamegan, none of that matters. They've all got their reasons, but they're no better than yours, especially when they're bearing down on you, blade in hand. Saying that, I don't want to kill them any more than you do. If I could convince them to lay down their arms, I would. Sadly, I never been much of a talker myself, but who knows? Maybe you could be the one, Lyse. Your father certainly was." Meffrid continues, "Right then. We'd best begin preparing for these new recruits, Nyra, Lyse. It's been a pleasure." We'll go with that. Hail Conrad. Okay. Okay. Conrad says, "Owing to the efforts of you all, we have accomplished a great deal in a short time. The Resistance thanks you for your service, Scions." Alphinaud says, I see operations here have been proceeding apace in my absence. Lyse says, welcome back, brother dearest. I take it your efforts to gather new recruits were successful. Alphinaud says, indeed. There were several amongst the science ranks that were quite eager to take part in our joint endeavor with the resistance, whom I am come to present. Irinveld says, Commander Kemp, if I may, my name is Irinveld Lintinas, a half-breed, as you can doubtless tell. I'm here to fight for a free Alamigo. For an Alamigo where women, like my mother, are never made to suffer. I pray you grant me this honor. Conrad says, you are a true-born son of Gyr Alabania, same as me. This is not my honor to grant, but yours to freely take. Welcome, brother. With our swelling ranks and the aid of the Erosian Alliance and the science of the Seventh Dawn, I believe we will soon be in a position to seize the initiative. Conrad turns to Maniego and says, once our new recruits have received significant training, I will propose to General Aldian that we draw up plans for an assault on Castrolium of Valadinia. Manago says, then, in the meantime, we will make what preparations we can. Everybody's excited. Meanwhile, in the royal palace of Alamigo, beyond majestic mountains across the Emerald Dale, on march the ivory standard, united we prevail. From distant shores of Orthland to the lakes of Aladenard, the light of the mighty Garlemald, forever our guiding star.
Alliance forces have occupied Castrum Orient and taken up positions along the length of the wall. Our patrols have engaged their reconnaissance parties on site, but there have been no significant exchanges. Save one. A unit tasked with field testing prototype Magitech weapons was attacked. The weapons were destroyed, with the unit sustaining near total casualties.
Near total? Go on.
My lord, there was but a single survivor from the unit in question, which falls under my command. According to his report, They were ambushed by a contingent of Eorzean Alliance regulars, abetted by resistance insurgents.
A simple ambush and only one survivor. A fine day's work. The stubbornness to survive is not without worth. He may live. However, the 12th is no place for the weak.
He shall be relegated at once, my lord. As you say, the 12th is no place for cowards who count their lives more precious than the cause.
Indeed, indeed. We have no need of cowards.
My lord,
Cowards who defer critical missions to their subordinates, who hide within their castra, never meeting their prey in battle, never staring into the whites of their eyes. Why, when confronted with a heretofore unknown icon, did we surrender the wall to the Alliance? Because my honored father, in his infinite wisdom, has not seen fit to grant us leave to march on their lands. Accordingly, we have extended an invitation to our neighbors. Gir Abania is where we shall host them. The field upon which we shall enjoy the sport of kings.
Yeah. Especially the way he threw that sword or swung it. There would be blood absolutely everywhere, and the sword would not go all the way through. It actually gets stuck. So then you'd have to pull it out, and then you got more splatter everywhere. And the guys standing around are probably not clean either. You're not wrong.
Patience is paramount. Cornered animals may have spirit, but they are ultimately predictable and very poor sport. But if one dangles the promise of freedom before them while nipping at their heels to stoke their passion, then things become interesting. It is a delicate dance, one which asks much of my hounds. And so I put the question to you, my fellow huntsman. How shall we deal with these savages?
Savages. They're all just begging he doesn't look at them.
My lord, I have a proposal.
Silence, Alamegan! You do forget yourself! Only by the grace of Lord Van Baelsar were you afforded a place here, and that in name alone. We have no need of your proposals, savage.
Okay.
This savage yearns to hunt her own. The floor is yours, Commander.
Thank you, my lord.
Okay. Oh, these tent. Okay. Manago. Manago says, right then. I've got duties to attend to. Alphina goes, mayhap we could assist you with said duties? We are here to help, after all. The three of you have been busy, so I will understand if you require time to rest. If not, however, it would seem sensible to assist our allies with their preparations. Managa says, we'd be grateful for any and all help you can offer. If you ask around, I guarantee you won't want for work. Volunteering me for go fetch quests. Yikes. Ah, well. Alright. Brave says, I beg your pardon? The woman who bested Givas von Belsar wishes to offer me her assistance? I say, this is truly irregular, though I have heard it said you had a penchant for aiding the common man, in which case... Before the occupation, I was a humble historian. While my duties leave me scarce time for aught else, I think it important that these momentous events be recorded for the benefit of future generations. Primary sources are indispensable, and I had a mind to question a number of my fellow freedom fighters. Ask them their motivations for taking up this cause and so forth. You may take down their statements in this log. And, Nyra, thank you for your service, now and ever after. Okay. Let's see here. Oh, right, we can mount in here. Oh, there's something all the way down there. It's all the way down there. Okay. Karatmar says, why'd I join the resistance? Well, if you must know, it was to avenge a friend the Imperials butchered before my very eyes back in Alamigo. We owned a stall in the markets, and a passing soldier snatched up a piece of fruit. He spoke out before I could stop him, only to get a thumb of steel in the gut for his troubles. I found my way here, and that was that. Ah, you see. Okay, so got a few more people to go ask why they joined the resistance. Looks like 3. Let's mosey on over there. And welcome everybody. If you have not already followed, please follow. It helps me out more than you could know. And I appreciate it. Lets me know I'm doing a good job. Thank you. Okay. Adhelicia. Okay. She says, I was just a cook before all this. Simple fare, really. Had a chance to lend a hand and help feed some refugees one day. I took to liking to the fighters. They believed, you know. And there's always a need for cooks. Or at least people who can work with whatever the foraging parties turn up. Okay, that makes sense. Though. Oh, she's got another quest. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. She says, you want to help, do you? Seeing as how I'm in no position to leave this stew pot unattended, could you go and ask TB for a variety of herbs? 6 sprigs or so of whatever he's got on hand should suffice. It's not as haphazard as it may seem. Depending on the recipe, it doesn't really matter what sort you add, so long as you add something. I'll be here when you get back. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, we need to go over here too. Don't we? Oh, I guess we don't. Okay. Alright, let's talk to you. Okay, and that's what Battle Maid says. You look... Yeah, jalapenos ghost peppers. Yeah, that will wake any soldier up. Ananita, Battle Maid, says, you look like a strider in search of comrades in need. If so, I have a task for you. I am a trainer, and I was told to expect new recruits this day. Yet nay, one has come. Perhaps they were given the wrong time or location. I do not know. They number 5 in all. These would-be warriors send them on to me should you chance to find them. Okay. Okay, there's a quest over here somewhere. There we are. Okay. Orella says, why? Why indeed. To save lives, perhaps, or make amends for the ones I couldn't. My father and my brothers were worked to death while building a castro. What did it matter to the Garleans, eh? More where that lot came from. After that, I couldn't keep on doing nothing. That makes sense. Okay, what's over here? Ah, I found one of the recruits. Right. Devout recruit says, I know, I'm late, but I had to say a prayer for my sister first. After what the Imperials did to her, death was a mercy. Alright. Okay. Oh, yep, there he is. Okay. I thought he was like up or something. I was going to like be like, oh wait. Okay. Okay. Hug Hawk says, aren't you the Icon Slayer? Damned if I know why you'd bother asking someone like me why I joined the Resistance, but it's simple. If I wasn't fighting the If I wasn't fighting for Alamigo, I'd be fighting for the Empire. You're either with them or not. And if you're with them, you may as well make the most of it. Food, training, citizenship. If you live long enough, you'll die stealing someone else's land. Like it's not, but that's the choice. But me, I'd rather die here. Okay, that makes sense, I guess. Okay. Let's see. Over here. Oh. Excuse me. That's not supposed to ring. There. I get so many spam calls. It's terrible. Okay. Over here somewhere. We're down? Down, I think. Looks like. Oh, there they are. Fiery recruit says. Training? God, I was so busy practicing to impress the others, I completely forgot. Thank you. Okay, oh, here we go. Brooding recruit. They say, 1,000 pardons. So preoccupied was I by the question of whether Alamigo should be a monarchy or republic that I neglected to attend my training. How silly, I know. Until we drive the Imperials from our lands, the question is moot. Okay. Ernest recruit says, the teacher calls me, I see. We were discussing strategies for disabling Magitech armor, you see, and, yes, of course. There is no time. If you would excuse me. Okay. Oh, the spice guy. TB says, herbs, is it? 6 sprigs of whatever's on hand? I'm afraid I can't spare that much. You'll have to take 2 and be glad of it. The remainder you'll have to gather yourself. Shouldn't be too much of a bother, though. You'd be surprised what you can find growing underfoot, even in the Reach. I see. We're eating weeds. Okay, Brave says, well met, Nyra. You have spoken with the freedom fighters as I asked? Yep. Here you go. Breves continues, as fascinating as they are varied. You have a knack for convincing others to bare their hearts to you. I could not have done better myself. Many years from now, when these troublesome times pass into memory, their accounts will serve as a window into the struggle. We must never forget, my friend. Never. Okay. Now, what am I supposed to be doing here? Search for the missing recruits. So I'm missing a recruit? I don't see anyone. Okay. Oh, there's one. Faint-hearted recruit. Says... Oh, bugger, you were sent by the snake, weren't you? I hear 1 in 4 recruits doesn't live through their training. That can't be true, right? Oh, bugger, oh, bugger. That's kind of funny. Being trained by a snake and he's afraid of being eaten. Okay, what's here? Oh. Fragrant herbs. Okay. Looks like a noxious weed. Okay. Need 3 more noxious weeds. Okay, it says up. So, there it is. The noxious weed that we must pull up before it becomes more noxious. Okay. Fragrant, noxious weed. I guess that would be smelly noxious weed. Because this is fragrant. Okay. Battlemate says, all recruits are present and accounted for. My thanks to you, Strider. Not all appreciate the rigor with which I train my recruits. Some favor a gentler approach, as if the Imperials will be so kind. 'Tis a thankless job to teach, some say, but I say their survival's thanks enough. Fare you well. Okay. Looks like I got one more stinky, noxious weed to go pull. Yeah, there it is. The stinky, noxious weed. Do you think I can swim across that and still get up? I'm gonna try it. Yep, okay, perfect. Okay. Here we are with your herbs. Yeah. Alright. at Helicia, the cook says, "Ah, there you are. Got those herbs I asked for?" "Yes, I have your stinky, noxious weeds right here." She continues, "Thanks, I'll do nicely, and, sorry to impose upon you, miss. I thought you were another new recruit. Didn't realize until after that you were, But to answer the question that's probably on your mind, yes, it's always like this. Never enough food or supplies to go around. All the more reason to be grateful when our countryman can spare some for the cause. Though that comes at a cost, too. Too many villages, too many children more deserving than us. But a man can't fight on an empty stomach, can he? So we partake, as we must, and we never lose sight of the dream." Makes sense. Alright, where to now? Huh. Okay. Token of faith. Oh, right there. Yeah, I should have seen that. Okay, swarthy resistance fighter. Oof, that's her name. Okay. Swarthy resistance fighter says, "Damn it all. Where could it have got to?" "Oh, pardon me, fellow lover of freedom and justice. You haven't seen a ward of the destroyer anywhere, have you? Maybe on the ground, as if a certain bloody fool had dropped it?" I'd been him. I had it this morning, that much I know for certain, and I've not left the reach since, so it's got to be around here somewhere. If you'd got a moment to spare, would you be willing to help me search? I spent some time near the Temple of the Fist earlier, so it might be there. As for me, I'll look around near the officer's pavilion. They're hardly rare, I know, and I could just as easily buy another one, but even so, please help me find it." Sounds like a potential landmine. You don't want to find that with your foot. Okay. Here we go. Destination. We're found a ward. Swarthy resistance fighter says, "I swear I've searched high and low, but it won't turn up." Found it. Here you go. 7 hells, that's the one. That's me lucky ward. You're a godsend, sister. Before I was born, my mother made a pilgrimage to the Temple of the First, where she, like many others, received the blessing of the monks. And then, Theoderic came and burnt it all to the ground, the mad bastard. And after he came, the Garleans, who cared even less for our beliefs. But I still keep to the old ways. Excuse me. But I still keep to the old ways, as do many others. And when my son is born, I'll teach him the stories in the scripture, as my mother taught me. Cool. Okay. Now what? Oh, it's right here, behind me. Hey, Alphinold. Okay. Accept. Alphinold says, and with that, another task is complete. Aye, Nyra, I hear you have been keeping busy. Manago says, aye, that she has. And we thank her for it. Conrad says, it pleases me to inform you that our new recruits have completed their initial training and stand ready to contribute. As discussed, Manago and I would have you present your proposal for an assault on the Castriolum Valodina. That. To General Alden personally. Managa says, of course, sir. Are you and yours planning to return to Castrum Orens before the operation? If so, why don't we travel together? Alphinold says, that seems a fine suggestion, but I must consult my comrades ere we depart. Manago says, very well. I will wait for you at the pass, but not too long. Alphinold says, I expect Krill and Y'shtola will wish to remain here to support the surgeons, but nevertheless, we should go and ask them. Okay. We are riding across town. Yay! Alright, here we go. Y'shtola. Alright, Y'shtola says, is Artemis? No, we're just getting ready to leave. Y'shtola says, I see. That would explain the sudden fury of activity outside. Alphinold says, this joint operation marks a turning point in our conflict with the Garleans. For the first time, the resistance in the Alliance shall go on the offensive and attempt to capture an Imperial outpost in occupied territory. Personally, I believe it is imperative that we offer them our full support as was the case with Ishgard. However, this is not a choice to be made lightly, nor less on others' behalves. Oh, not on others' behalves. Okay, that makes sense. This is war, and every scion must decide what part he or she would play. Elise says, I'll fight for Alamigal, for my father, for Yida. I'm in it to the end. Alice says, the choice was made for us ere we were born, brother, when the Empire marched on Erosia. They will stop at nothing to subjugate or slaughter us all. Van Belsar and Van Darnius were but the first to try. Alphinaud says, though your fervor is surprising, I cannot dispute your logic. At the risk of repeating myself, I am of course of the same mind. The present situation is untenable and further complicates the existence of Airbrid's primal. I believe we have no recourse but to directly and openly intervene. Y'shtola says, I thought this was a foregone conclusion given our actions thus far, but if you require renewed affirmation, then yes, I am still wholly committed to this cause, for it is ultimately the selfsame cause I have served since I first pledged to serve Master Luxwa in the Circle of Knowing, the salvation of Erosia by any means necessary. That said, I shall refrain from taking the field on this occasion. There are many here who require further treatment, and doubtless more to come after. Krill says, I came here from Minfilia, and that hasn't changed. However, I like to stay with Y'shtola for now and tend to the wounded. Alphinaud nods and says, as for you, Nyra, you are, to quote our dear friend, Lord Edmont, the woman who slew Gaius van Belsar and some half-dozen primals besides. Your presence may well prove the difference between victory and defeat. Many look to you as a hero and heap great expectations upon your shoulders, but you, like every scion, must decide for yourself. Ooh, we have options. Okay, so will I say 1. I'll fight the Empire poses too great a threat. Or 2. We can carry on for those we have lost, for those we can yet save. 3. As long as there's a battle to be fought, I'll be there. Or 4. To be frank, Alfie, this isn't my fight, but I'll do what I must. Alright, so what should I pick? 1, 2, 3, 4. Got 1. I'll fight. The Empire poses too great a threat. 2. We can but carry on for those we have lost, for those we can yet save. 3. As long as there's a battle to be fought, I'll be there. Or 4. To be frank, Alfie, this isn't my fight, but I'll do what I must. What do you guys think? 1, 2, 3, or 4? Anybody? Let's see. Any, many, more. 4? Okay. 4 is, to be frank, Alfie, this isn't my fight, but I will do what I must. Alphinaud says, I see. Well, it pains me to hear you speak thus. I am grateful for your candor. There was a time when you would have kept such thoughts to yourself. Okay. Lyse says, take care, Y'shtola, Krill, and do not hesitate to contact us should you require assistance. Lyse, I would ask that you remain here by Conrad's side. We should go, or Manago will leave without us. Everybody turns to go, but Alphinaud stops and turns back around and says, might I persuade you to join us, Nyra? Should you wish to give your decision further consideration, Castrum Oriens would seem an apt place to do it. You need not answer right away. I am sure I can convince Manago to wait a little longer. Okay. Qiqirn Ironheart. Alphinaud says, so you will be accompanying us. Full glad am I to hear it. Manago says, all set? Excellent. Then let us be off. Okay. Okay, now where am I supposed to be going? Oh, I can teleport there. Yay! Here we go. Ruberhan says, welcome back, comrades. What news? Manago says, greetings, General. I am come at Commander Kemp's behest to brief you on the latest developments at the Reach. Our recruitment efforts have exceeded expectations. In addition to welcoming many motivated young Alamegans, our ranks have been bolstered by the arrival of a number of experienced veterans, thanks in large part to the efforts of the Scions. As a consequence, we are now able to field half a dozen new units, with more being trained as we speak. Ruberhound says, good. I gather Conrad is eager to strike while the iron's hot. Manago nods. Just so, General. He proposes that we begin preparations for a joint operation to capture Castellium v. Lodinia. Pippin says, capture Vidal. I have such a hard time with this one. Lodinia. That will not be easy. It will, however, be necessary if we are to push east towards the capital. Rubahan says, "There is no profit in delay. It is only a matter of time before the Garleans learn of our plans and summon reinforcements." The Alliance hereby accepts Commander Kemp's proposal. Tell him to take no chances. Bring every able-bodied Alamigian who can wield a weapon. Pippin? I want Vilodiana watched. Assess its defenses. Every fortress has a weakness, and I would know this one's. Lyse says, "If there is no objection, General, might the Scions join Marshal Turupin?" Rubahan nods and says, "By all means. If that is all, let's be about it." Okay. Lyse says, "Conrad and the General are of one mind, it seems. If I only wish I could say it the same. While the aggressive strategy may well profit us in the end, what losses we will suffer in the meantime. Anyway, we should speak with the Vice Marshal about this reconnaissance mission and see how he would like to proceed." Completes. Okay. Pippin. Pippin says, "Thank you for volunteering to join me. This should be a fairly straightforward reconnaissance mission, so long as we do not have the ill fortune to run afoul of the Imperial Patrol. Come, our destination is beyond East End, just north of Vilodinia. Vilodinia. Okay. Let's see, let's go out here. Go. I'm not sure if I can go this way or not. My map is not filled out. Beers. Oh, that one did not aggro. Huh. Alright, I'm down on the quest level now. Almost there. Where is it? That's it right there. Yep. And I have a fan I don't want. The big bug. Alright, bug. Pippin says, this ought to be close enough. Now we settle in for a long watch. That said, it would be prudent to keep your weapons at the ready, in the event a passing patrol stumbles upon us, or worse. Okay, so it's a cutscene warning. It is recommended you set aside time. Yeah. I think we're good. Proceed.
Excellent. The disposition of the Imperial forces is exactly as expected. I will note...
Oh.
Cannon fire! Where did it come from?
Smoke! There! Is that... Oh gods, it's Relga's reach.
It's no use. I think someone's jamming our communications.
You don't think... Could this be part of a coordinated attack?
Too early to draw conclusions. We must abort the assault and return to the Reach at once.
Spaghetti.
Forward! Forward! Give them no quarter!
Uh-oh.
Traitor! Kinslayer!
You're no kin of mine!
Ooh. Lyse?
Meffrid!
Ooh.
Hell take you!
Uh-oh.
Well, well. Stand aside, Pilus. This one has promise.
Have a care, my lord. She's not like the others.
Do not disappoint me, girl, or I will kill you.
Sword roulette.
7 hells. It's him. It's Xenos.
The Viceroy? Oh, you are a dead man!
Ooh.
Ah!
So spirited, and yet so empty.
magical barrier. Alas, it will not save you.
Your shoulder!
Ouch, jeez.
Hold the line, Byrolga! Hold the line!
Ugh.
Cryle!
Alphino!
We saw the smoke and thought we heard explosions. Are we under attack?
Almost definitely.
The Imperials were all over us before we realized what was happening. No one knew where to run or what to do. It was chaos. Lyse and Master Kemp rallied the guards and bought us enough time to get some of the wounded to safety, but I haven't seen either of them since.
Confound it! If we lose the Reach, this will all have been for naught. Arenvold, can you escort these people to the wall?
Aye, sir.
Our place is at the Reach. We must offer such aid and succor as we are able. Saving lives is now our paramount concern. If we can hold back the Imperials until Father sends reinforcements,
The texture's
yet turn the
weird.
tide.
I'll join you. I've done all I can for these people, and you'll be crying out for a healer in there.
I fear you're right. Come, there is no time to lose.
Alright. Okay.
It's all over now!
Okay. Let's get this magic user out of here. Okay, this one too. Okay. Okay. There we go. Okay. Oh. Okay. Is that? Nope, not yet. Okay. Now it is. Okay, what have we got? Magic user. Goodbye. Okay. Duty failed? Slash. Oh. Took too long. Okay. Let's go for it again. Okay. Normal. Just normal. Yes. We already saw that. Okay.
It's all over now.
Okay. Okay.
For the glory of the flames!
Okay. Okay, where do we need to go? Okay.
Rebel scum!
You look like a healer. Okay. Oh.
What took you so long? Alpha, no, I need your help. My lord, the prisoners!
See to your men, Pylus.
As you command, my lord.
Okay.
Your friends were a disappointment. But you will entertain me, will you not?
Okay. This guy dark? No.
Be gone!
Ow! Okay. Big AoE. Got it.
Give me something to remember.
Okay. Yikes. Yeah, hit him. How? Ooh, I'm glad that did not go off on me. Too. Okay. Okay. Must admit, I was worried. Oh!
Pathetic.
Seven hells.
Shall we give chase, General?
Nay. There has been enough death this day. See to the wounded.
Aye, sir.
You all right, lass?
Got three options. I can say, 1, I think my pride might have taken a knock. 2, well enough, next time he will pay. Or 3 doubts. 1, 2, or 3. What do you think, guys? I think I'll do 1. I think my pride might have taken a knock.
There's no ordinary foe could best the likes of you.
Don't you die on me, Ishola! Hold on! Don't worry, it's going to be all right. Alphino, Master Kemp is all yours.
Understood.
Don't just stand there gawping. Hold her down while I work.
She's not moving.
The worst is past, but without the proper facilities, I can do no more.
Master Kemp too would be better served in the infirmary. Let us take them there without delay.
Give us a hand, would you, Lyse? Of course. I know you must be exhausted, but there will be others who need our help. Leave these two to us and look to the other wounded.
Okay. Rubahan says, "You did well, Nyra. You saved lives. No matter what happens, remember that. Now then, let's do what we can for the wounded. Every minute counts." Rubahan continues, "See to the wounded, Nyra. If they live, help them. If not, move on." Okay. Okay, what am I doing? Oh. Oh, Meffrid. Meffrid lies motionless, having breathed his last. Clenched in his fist is a small charm, which you take for safekeeping. Theory Youth says, he was already cold when I got to him. There was naught I could do. That charm must have been important. You best take it to Conrad. Okay. Okay, Conrad. Monaco? Meffrid? Where are you? Okay. This is... He's dead, isn't he? Meffrid was a warrior, always thinking about others before himself. He once had an Imperial patrol chase him near on 20 melms so that his wounded would have time to escape. His comrades loved him for it, of course, though that only made him worry more. Did you know that he sent his men in Quarry Mill away because they thought they were fighting for him? And not the cause? Aye, well, he did. The only life he was willing to risk was his own, you see. But that's exactly the kind of man who should be leader. The kind of man who deserves to survive, not an old fool's all used up. Alphinaud says, there's no logic to it, Mr. Kemp. There never is. Who stands, who falls. In the heat of battle, we can but do our best, as he did. Meffrid will be sorely missed, aye, but because of his sacrifice, many now live who otherwise would not, and they need us, now more than ever. Conrad says, aye, that they do. Forgive me, I had high hopes for him is all. Okay, I need to go... Oh, Pippin. I need to talk to Pippin. Pippin says, our defeat was no near thing. It was total, a humiliation. We were powerless to withstand our enemy's assault. But we cannot afford to dwell on our failure, as Alphinaud said. It is those who survived whom we must think of now. Rhaegar's reach is no longer safe. The Imperials may have withdrawn, but they could return at any time to finish what they began. We dare not return here. We dare not remain here. Those who are not fit to take the journey to Castrum Orins will need to be taken by chocobo carriage. Agreed? I nod, and Pippin continues. Good. I shall oversee the preparations for the carriages. In the meantime, I would have you secure the infirmary, or scour the infirmary for any supplies that might prove useful during the journey. Yep, we're moving out. Hail Orilla. She says, or he or she? She. Okay. She says, forgive me, but it is imperative that I continue preparing medicines for the wounded. If you desire treatment, I would ask that you seek it elsewhere. Oh, I see. In that case, you are free to search the barber and take that which you require. I would not have our people dine en route. I would assist you, but the process demands my undivided attention. Okay. Just making medicines. Alright. Okay. Okay, more medical supplies. And looks like one more over here. Alright. Here we go. Flame Courier says, Miss Marshall Turupin said you might have something for me. Yep, I got some meds. Flame Courier continues, 12 be praised. This should put the driver's heart at ease. Tell the Vice Marshal we await his orders. Krill says, Y'shtola and the others are safely strapped in. Don't worry. I'll be by her side the entire time. Alphinaud says, thank you, Krill. Lyse says, I'll walk alongside. They'll need protection in case the Garleans try anything. Hang on. You're injured too, aren't you? Shouldn't you be in one of the carriages? Conrad says, I'm not so frail that I can't make the trip on my own. Besides, there's still work to be done here. I'll see you at the wall when it's finished. Pippin says, as you wish. Then let us set forth at once. We shall move as quickly as our comrade's health allows. To Castrum Orans. Okay. Okay, Conrad says, you saved a good many of my men, and I cannot thank you enough for that. But the fact remains, our forces are decimated. In this state, will not be mounting an assault on Castrolium, Vilodinia, or anywhere else. We need to be honest with ourselves about our prospects, but first, we need to put our affairs here in order. Afterwards, I'll join you all at Castrum Orans. Alphinaud says, understood. I will go and speak with General Aldine. Okay. We need to cross the way. Okay, Rubahan. Rubahan says, Pippin has already departed with the wounded, has he? Good. We have completed our search of the Reach and surrounding area. As far as we can tell, Xenos and his men returned straightaway to Spectula Importorius after quitting this place. 'Twould seem he's lost interest in us. Alphino says, which brings us to the most troubling question of all. Not how he found us, but why he chose to spare our lives having done so. Rubahan says, in war, you kill or capture your enemy. You don't leave him to fight another day. Only a fool will turn his back and walk away. But Xenos is no fool. Whatever his motive, this is neither the time nor the place to think of it. I will leave a token force to watch over the Reach. The rest will fall back to Castrum Orims. We can discuss our path forward there. Yeah, who knows what might be listening after the enemy's been in this place. Okay. Where to next? Here we are. Okay. Lyse. Alright, Lyse says Krill is with Yashola. She still hasn't woken up, but Krill says she's through the worst. Alphino says, given the severity of her wound, we could have hope for no more. Let us pray she makes a full recovery. Lyse says, we lost a lot of good people, didn't we? I saw it happen when that Skull's commander cut down Meffrid. A single blow, and that was it. Everything he fought for, all his hopes and dreams for the future, gone in an instant. And do you want to know the worst part? It wasn't a Garlean who did it. It was an Alamegan. Oh, hello. Well, what's up? Thank you for your friends following. This is a big help. Elise says, God's help me if I ever... No, not now. Not while the general is waiting. Alice says, oh, Lyse. A spinning Nessie.
Were it not for the swift actions of the Scions and the Alliance, many more would have died. You risked your lives to save ours, and for that we thank you.
There is no need for thanks. We are allies, are we not?
This is true. I still need to. Working on it, though.
Aye, just so. Let us not dwell on this tragedy, but look to the future.
The future? I'm sorry, General, but there is no future for us. We've lost too many. Gods, I can still see Meffrid with that woman standing over him. They've ripped the heart out of us, General. They've broken us. Our fight is over.
Master Kemp, please.
I'll always hate them with every fiber of my being. For what they took from us then and now. Our homeland, our freedom, our bloody children.
You mean the Skulls? The youths who fight for Xenos?
Grania Lupi, the Black Wolf's legacy and our shame. A unit made up of children born to Alamegan dignitaries who came of age during the occupation.
Sons and daughters of Gyr Abania, raised to be proud citizens of the Empire, with all the rights and responsibilities that entails. It'd be easy to curse them and call them traitors, but they're our children. Our flesh and blood. If the only way to forge the future we want is to cut down our own, then...
Then what was it all for?
Nargo.
What will you say to the families of the fallen? To the mothers, and the widows, and the orphans? Will you tell them it was all for nothing?
Listen to the girl. We dare not suffer our comrades' sacrifices to have been in vain. Now is the time to steel our resolve and press on, painful though it may be.
And when Xenos comes back with his army, what then? This isn't the first time, you know. You'll be hard-pressed to find men brave or stupid enough to face him again.
I still can't believe how strong he was. He humiliated us back there. The warrior of light included. Gods help us if he's next in line to the Garlean throne.
Loath though I am to say it, we should not be surprised. Before succeeding Van Baelsar in Alamigo, Xenos led the Imperial army to Doma, where he crushed the rebellion utterly. As a matter of fact, Doma remains in his charge to this day. Suffice it to say, Varys' heir is a peerless warrior and an accomplished general. The question is, how are we to contend with such a foe?
Ooh, what do I say? What do I say? Do I say we will fight and keep on fighting until we win, or we take the fight to Duma, or I have a feeling you're about to tell us? Let's take the fight to Duma. I would really appreciate that.
Interesting. You are suggesting we kindle the flames of revolution in Doma once more and force Xenos to fight a war on two fronts?
For that, there would need to be someone left to fight on this front by the time you got back. Look, I'll not deny the plan as promised. And I feel for our brothers and sisters in Doma, truly I do. But I fear we lack the strength to see it through.
Have faith in your people, Master Kemp. Them and the Scions. Hold fast, rebuild. And when all is in place, we shall defeat Xenos together.
If you're going to Doma, I'm coming too. I want to help our friends there. And make sure nothing like this ever happens again.
Give us the time we need, and we will give you something far greater.
Very well. For all you have done for us, we will fight on. But be swift, comrades. Alamigo has suffered enough.
Alphinold says, it goes without saying, but the Scions alone have not the strength to topple a provincial government here or anywhere else. And I am quite certain the same can be said of the Domian Liberation Front. Nevertheless, we can but go and assess the situation for ourselves and see what can be done. Lest you doubt what good we few can accomplish, I would remind you that my grandfather and his 12 disciples once journeyed to these lands to save Erosia and her people from certain doom. Brave souls with an impossible task, and Erosia lives on. Hello, welcome, welcome, welcome. Alpha Note says, our present mission may not be as monumental in scope, but it is no less important to the multitudes whom we would free from imperial oppression, whom we will free. It is going good. It's going very good. Thank you for asking. How's goes it for you? Oh, thanks for the follow. That is awesome. Thank you. Thank you very much. Alright. Lyse says, where men go is one, there is life, and where there is life, there is cause to hope. Our grandfather believed that, and so do I. But before we can forge ties with our friends in the Far East, we must first find a way to reach them. Orthod is not exactly over the river and through the woods. Alphanote says, I am one step ahead of you, dear sister, or rather, the Daughter is. But before we discuss that, there is another issue I wish to address. As much as I would like it, if we could all make this journey together, someone will need to remain and serve as liaison to the Alliance and the Resistance during this critical period. Moreover, as Y'shtola cannot be left unattended. Krill says, then I should obviously remain very well. Issue addressed. You know, Alphanode, it would have been quicker to just ask, and markedly less patronizing. Alphanode says, yes, I suppose. Would you be willing to look after Y'shtola and provide support to a Vernold and the others? Well, thank you both. I really appreciate it. It means a lot. Krill says, yes, Alphanote, I would. You see? That wasn't so hard, was it? Enjoy your trip, and don't you dare return with a gift. Alphanote says, oh, I would not dream of it. Right then. Sister, Nyra, Lyse, gather your things. We are for Lomencia. Okay, now we go to Lomencia. Area. We need to go to Av Castle, I guess. This way. Okay, here we go. Alphanold. Okay, Alphanold says, Qiqirn should be here any minute with our ship's captain. Lyse says, so we're going by sea after all. Is the Admiral lending us our pick of the Crimson Fleet? Alphanold says, not exactly. You are right in as much as we will be traveling by sea. Regrettably, it is simply not foreseeable for an airship to travel such a distance without impossibly large fuel reserves, to say nothing of the inevitability of running afoul of the Emperor's aerial defenses. But then it is equally infeasible to sail an Erosian alliance vessel halfway around the world without the Empire taking notice. Which leaves us with only one other option. Speak of the devil. Tataru! Tataru is a devil? Wait, what? Okay. Tataru says, sorry to keep you waiting, and may I present to you Captain Carvelian of the Kraken's Arms. Oh. This must be the devil, because it's not Tataru. That's not Tataru. Lyse says, the Kraken's Arms? Don't tell me you made a deal with pirates. Carvelian says, greetings and salutations, Scions. I take it from your comrade's tone that you no longer wish to proceed with our proposed arrangement? Alphanold says, not at all, Captain. Pray, forgive my sister her outbursts. She has ever been one to speak her mind. I, on the other hand, am the very soul of discretion, as many well-respected personages would attest, from the offices of the Admiral to the highest houses of Ishgard. Why are we looking at his chest? Okay, Alphanold continues. But where was I? Oh yes, the Scions of the Seventh Dawn do intend still to wish to employ your services. However, it is important that you are aware of certain extenuating circumstances. Carvelian says, and intent on securing passage to the far east, you came to us, knowing us to be the proud purveyors of said region's finest spices. Lyse says, which you steal from God-fearing merchants out on the high seas. Carvelian says, whatever pirateering the Kraken's Arms may or may not engage in is strictly within the limits of the law, as set forth by our indefeatable keeper of the peace. More to the point, we are pragmatists. I see considerable risk in aiding your cause and negligible profit. Tataru says, well, I, for one, think the captain has a point. The 5 seas can be extremely treacherous, and many a poor, unfortunate soul has come to grief out there on the waves. Why, when we were in Ishgard, I heard the tragic tale of how the heir to House Dorindare vanished at sea. Even so, nearly 20 years later, the poor count remains convinced that his son still lives and would pay a sultan's ransom for news of his whereabouts. Oh, I see. The pirate captain laughs and laughs. Carvanellian says, truly a tragedy for the ages, and a testament to the misfortunes that may befall us should we act without due consideration. But so long as you are prepared to abide the copious wounds of fate, I am willing to oblige you this once. That said, in light of the recent rebellion, I trust you understand that I cannot deliver you to Duma itself. I can take you only as far as Qiqirn in Hingushi. We will require time to procure significant provisions and make ready our departure. I humbly suggest you do the same. Ooh. New capital. Everybody shrugs. Why are you all shrugging? He's the Lord's son. I'm pretty sure. Alpha Note says, suddenly all those hours Jotaro passed cavorting and capering at the Forgotten Night seem rather better spent, do they not? Yeah. Alpha Note continues, that said, I had intended to press the point more obliquely, and there was something disconcerting about the pleasure Totoro took in making Captain Carvanelli squirm. Okay. Talk to Alpha Note again. Alpha Note says, I say, we should heed the captain's advice and attend to our own preparations while they ready the vessel for departure. Tataru and I will procure the necessary supplies. Alice, I should be grateful if you would use the time to brief Oronge on recent developments. You may also wish to review the relevant safety procedures in the event of an emergency at sea. Alice says, how very prudent of you. Very well. I shall go and speak with him. What of Nyra and Lyse? Alpha Note turns to us and says, I would like the two of you to return to Reverend's Toll and speak with our Doman allies. I fear we know too little of their homeland, and any information they can provide would be most welcome. When we have completed our respective tasks, we will reconvene here at the ferry docks. Agreed? Lyse says, sounds like a plan. Let's go, Nyra. Okay, Revan's Tool. Here we go. Okay. Oh, wait, no, there we go. Lyse says, well, here we are. We'll need to talk to lots of people, so I think we should split up. I'll ask around at the House of Splendors. You take the rice and stones. I'll meet you here after. Got it? Sounds good, Lyse. Okay. And to the rice and stones. Let's see here. Anybody here to talk to? No. Alright. Okay, Haguri. Hail. Haguri says, "Greetings, Nyra. What brings you to the toll this eve?" Well, Haguri says, "What? You are for Doma? Heavens, you scions have shown us naught but kindness, but never in my wildest dreams did I imagine you would fight for our homeland. For 25 years we suffered under their tyranny, and then we spied an opportunity. The Emperor dead, Garlemald in chaos. It seemed the time was ripe. Beneath our Lord's banners we gathered and fought to reclaim our nation. But when Xenos arrived with the Legion, it was over in an instant." Yeah, that sounds familiar. O'Malley says, "You're truly planning to travel to Duma? I do not know what to say. Forgive me. I shall aid you to the best of my ability. Ours is a beautiful land nestled in the eastern coast of Orthold. Along the banks of the One River, our nation thrived, proud and free, until the Garleans came 25 years ago. The river was our lifeblood, free to travel and to fish. But travel was soon restricted, and now the river belongs to none." Well, that's too bad, because a river can be very important to a culture. Okay, Beaky. Huzon says, "What is it, my friend? You look as though you have something to ask." Huzon continues, "That you go to join Yuguri and Gosastu, I do not know how to say his name, in the fight fills me with such joy. Ah, forgive my exuberance. You require information, yes? We of the Nagi clan have served Duma faithfully for generations. My ancestors held positions within Duma Castle even. Now it is home to the Imperial Voicery's witch and her host of men in Magitech. To think that what was once the shining symbol of our heritage and the seat of our Lord Qiqirn has become a den for Garlean dogs. Ouch." Okay, back outside to talk to Lyse. Here we go. Lyse says, "Ah, there you are. Learn anything interesting?" The older Domans I spoke with tried to teach me all about Far Eastern customs and the importance of formality and politeness. I like to think Erosians can be just as stiff and stuffy as anyone, especially as guardians, but anyway. Did you know they eat with sticks? It wasn't all that hard, actually, or at least that's what I thought until they told me I was holding them wrong. And then when I spoke with the younger Dolmens, they just rolled their eyes and told me it was all a load of stupid old... Wow. What you learned sounds like a lot more useful, unless someone invites us to dinner, of course. I hope they do. Okay. Okay. Accept quest. Lyse says, right, no point waiting around here, is there? We should head back to Lemencia. Wulfenshade said to meet at the ferry docks, I think. Oh, that sounds about right. Alright. Ferry docks. Okay, so ferry docks, which means we go to the Fisherman's Guild. Yep. This is the ferry docks, isn't it? Oh, they want me to go to the Arcanist Guild. Okay. Oh, Arcanist, there we go. Hail Wulfenshade. Wulfenshade says, "You are returned, Nyra. I trust you learned much from our Domian friends in Rivenstoll. I am eager to hear all, though that can wait until we have left port. We will have time enough to talk on our journey to Qiqirn. Our spice trading friends have completed their preparations. Assuming you have completed yours, you may inform the dog hand that you are ready to depart." Okay, let's go see about departing. Here we go. Qiqirn's Arms deckhand says, "All set, lass? I'll see you to the ship if so." Board the Misery. Okay. Orionge.
12 be praised. Full sure was I that I had come too late.
Orionge, tell me you haven't come all this way just to see us off.
Nay, my lady. Ere you quit these shores for eastern climes, I wished to share some words of seeming import. Look ye where the sun doth rise. See crimson embers, darkening skies. Look ye where the sun doth fall. See azure lost amidst the squall.
Stop speaking in riddles, Orionge.
Well, that sounds suitably foreboding. Another one of your prophecies, I presume?
Of far eastern origin, aye. It is mine earnest hope that this ancient wisdom may serve to guide you on your journey. For what dangers lie in wait for you upon those distant shores are yet beyond my knowing.
A parting gift befitting your roundabout ways. Thank you.
I have more than words for you, my lady.
Ooh, pretty.
It's beautiful. Is it for me?
Though undeniably powerful, your ethereal blade taxeth you greatly in the wielding. Not so this rapier, which shall serve you just as well against all but the most formidable foe.
Impressive. It feels as though it's attuned to my ether. I shall treasure it.
Honored guests, say your farewells, for the moment of our parting draws nigh. A fair wind blows, and I mean to follow it.
It would seem our ship is set to sail. Pray give my regards to Thancred and the others. And take care.
A fine day, is it not? Fair winds and following seas. The Misery is enjoying herself.
The Misery is enjoying
Nevertheless,
herself.
It would not do for you to spend the entirety of our voyage above deck. Let me show you to your quarters.
Shared quarters? Uh-oh.
Is it supposed to do that?
Not under normal circumstances.
Uh-oh.
Captain! You're needed on deck! Something queer's afoot. The winds died down, the waters went still, and all of a sudden, we were dragged off course.
Uh-oh.
Dragged? By what?
Can't rightly say, sir. But some of the lads are muttering about seeing things in the water. Things that shouldn't be there.
Oh. If you will excuse me a moment. Actually, might I persuade you to join me? Loath though I am to admit it, I have a bad feeling about this.
Yeah. I can't imagine why. Okay. Carveling says, odd. Most odd. Elfinold says, well, do you have any idea what's going on? Carveling says, no. As the men said, despite the absence of wind and current, the Misery is somehow being pulled off course. Elise says, well, why not fire up the engines you have hidden below? Carvelian says, an excellent suggestion based on knowledge you should not have. Alas, our engines appear to be malfunctioning for reasons that escape my engineers at present. Curious. Deckhand says, I'm telling you, Captain, it's them. Things the lads saw. Elfnote says, things? I don't suppose I could convince you to attempt something more descriptive, an adjective, for example. Carvaneline says, sea wolf superstitions and fairy tales, not more. But if you must know, the things which he is so reluctant to name are the souls of deceased women said to lure sailors to their deaths. Ophanos says, preposterous. Lyse says, yes, indeed. If it is neither the sea nor the weather which is responsible, then it is possibly a predatory entity of some sort, perhaps a siren or some such. For all we know, it could be a fellow spice trader employing magitex to seize and plunder passing vessels. Regardless, we have but one recourse, to let the current take us where it will, and deal with whatever we find there. Carvenaline says, what a thoroughly pragmatic suggestion. Oh, I am beginning to like you, girl. Once we arrive at our destination, my crew shall remain with the ship to defend it while we venture forth and deal with the cause of our troubles. Lyse says, then it is settled. I know not what awaits us, but it will rue the day it reeled us in. It will rue the day it railed us in. Oh, it is an instance unlock. Kind. Dungeon. I do not have the time to do a dungeon just today. Alright. It looks like I'll have to bid adieu until tomorrow. And at which point we will unlock that dungeon. So, see you later. See you tomorrow. Same time. Time is on the schedule. And the schedule automatically accounts for your time zone. So if I say a time, it may not be your time zone's time. So do check the schedule. So yes. And then until tomorrow, I'll see y'all later.